Welcome to the disaster already in progress. Hi, it's Brian again, and this time on NerdSteading, we're going to talk about flooring. So we made really good progress on the barn over the weekend. I'll give you a bit of a recap. We did start out, remember, with that big demolition back in May. Then we realized we really needed a building permit for the shop because of the enclosed space and because we need electricians who like to work under permits in the state, and also my wife works for the county, so it's a little embarrassing if we do a giant remodel and she doesn't follow the building codes. Anyway, getting the permit is good because you get to consult with people on little details like how big should your floor joists be, how spaced apart should they be. You know, the little bits of things that, even though you're thinking it's just annoying code compliance, it also means that when you move into your shop and put heavy tools on the floor, they don't fall through it. I like that in a floor, being solid. That was not the case when we moved in. All right, enough about that stuff. I keep talking about a shop. It's going to be upsetting. This is technically my shop. Okay, so it's boxes and moving paper. Brian, why did you use this for storage? Why didn't you just come in and use this thing that has lighting and a fishing pole rack on the ceiling inexplicably? Well, that's why. All right, so the building code for the size of the room we want to use basically says we need 2x6 floor joists, and they need to be 24 inches on center, and they can't span any more than 8 feet. So this width of this is about 15.5 feet. So we have a 4x6 center beam, which is upcycled lumber from the previous flooring project. We picked the best bits and threw the crap away. And raised up so that the lowest point of the floor doesn't actually touch the ground. All right, set it down. I swear, first try. Look at that nonsense. Wow. That is not representative of our previous work. I mean, like, we got the other one level, but this took... I can't claim this to be skill. I really want to claim this to be skill, but there's just no way anyone would believe me. Once you get your sort of box established, your two main components, I'm putting together a floor or joist hangers and the floor joists, which are just, again, 2x6 lumber. Then you just put up the joist hangers. I have grown to kind of respect and despise these things during the middle of the project. They're bent pieces of metal. They have strategically placed holes, and when installed correctly, will hold a 2x6 level with 4 screws to hold the bracket against the thing, and 4 more screws to hold the board into the thing. They're bendy, though, and they don't, like a 2x6 floor joist hanger doesn't actually line up all the way with the 2x6. So you have to then space it about an inch down from the top, and you can start eyeballing that and then realize that you have to go back after you've installed the floor joist and rehang the hanger so that the board's actually, I don't know, level and true. So it really only took us a couple of days to get this floor joist situation sorted out. We did one weekend of demo and prep and building out the exterior box that involved running the string and get everything as level as you can. Barns are not square. Even if you built a actually square barn, the next day you would come back and it probably would not be square. If you buy a barn that was built in the 1980s, it's not square. So we had to make some adjustments here and there to make sure that the floor itself comes out as level as possible. So yeah, 2020 has brought a number of challenges, including getting pressure-treated lumber. So the floor you see beneath us is boxed out as an outside frame with pressure-treated lumber. And then the rest of it is done with regular 2x6s that are coated with a weatherproofing. According to building code, if the subfloor is less than 18 inches from the vapor barrier, then I should be using pressure-treated lumber. The problem is getting enough of it right now. See, all the hardware stores have been slammed recently because everybody decided this is a great time for them to do their home improvement projects because they're all trapped in their houses. And the factories that make pressure-treated lumber are under the same COVID-19 restrictions as everybody else. What we ended up doing is getting regular 2x6s for a lot of the floor framing and waterproofing them as they went in, and then putting in a proper vapor barrier underneath. I'm going to say vapor barrier a lot. vapor barrier. Vapor barrier. This is a thing that the previous tenants did not do under the floor. Vapor barrier is found in most crawl spaces and should be under any subfloor unless it's on a slab. Why is that, Brian? Water vapor comes in through the water table in the soil and then soaks up to the bottom of your wonderful floor. That's why we had so many holes in the bottom of the last floor, is they didn't put in a vapor barrier. They left some tarps on the ground. Even the horse didn't like that. It was a terrible idea. So now that we have this nice, solid, and actually inspected by a professional floor down, we're going to deck it with plywood. And because it's so close to the subfloor, and I don't want to ever do this again in my life, shut up, horse, I'm working here. Yeah, we actually spent the money on pressure-treated plywood. Remember how I said pressure-treated lumber is hard to get? Well, when things are hard to get in a capitalist economy, you pay more for them. So it is the most I've ever spent in my life in a single order of plywood. And we're going to screw it down to this floor. Yay. Well, would you look at that? We got a floor. Yep, doing something I haven't been able to do ever in the short time that we've been here in Amity. I can actually walk from one side of my prospective shop to the other without falling through anything or running into a wall or having to step over a hole where people have stored a variety of steak knives. Yeah. That's a thing that's been happening here. We have the subfloor for the shop done. A couple of creative cuts for notches around the existing posts. Several rhombi. Odd shapes were cut because nothing in the barn is square. Even if we put things in and thought that they were square, yeah, we had to pick a reference point. Do we go up against this wall over here, which we don't trust very much? Do we go against the post over here, which are not lined up 100% on each other? Do we trust the center beam? Didn't matter. We pick a reference point. Things drift a little bit, so there's some creative cutting in here, but everything seems to fit. I can stand on the floor. I can walk. It does all the things a functional floor is supposed to do. Alright, so what do we do next? Well, like and subscribe to this channel to find out. Thanks for watching. Tune in next time to see what other interesting mistakes we make in the name of barn improvement. Have fun.